Charleston County Register of Deeds Michael Miller has been under fire for a backlog of work in his office. Today, Charleston County Council discussed what their options are in addressing the problem, and they actually took some action. Our Eli Brand is outside council chambers. So Eli, what happened tonight?
Well, first of all, Katie, no one's losing their job tonight, but County Council did decide to pass a resolution urging state lawmakers to make a change to who can run for the office of Register of Deeds moving forward. Now, that decision itself was not made unanimously. There was a lot of discussion, but in the end, a majority of the council members decided something had to be done.
It is imperative that we take some actions.
Action taken.
The motion passes.
To support a legislative change. Charleston County Council was told by their legal team they do not have the power to change the current Register of Deeds office from an elected position to an appointed one. That power lies with the state legislature. Tonight's resolution passed by council that will be sent to Columbia says they're in support of the State House adding qualifications to who can run for the office.
I have some photos that will show bins of papers that we haven't scanned or processed. But lawyers and mortgage companies don't care how long it takes you to process that paper. They want that document recorded in a time state so it has a stamp on it.
Bob McIntyre recently retired from the Charleston County Register of Deeds office after 26 years. He says the issues there now are about productivity. He says employees are encouraged to do what they can, as opposed to being told how much to do. He says this is the reason for the massive backlog, and it only started when current Register of Deeds Michael Miller, who was in attendance tonight and did not speak, came into office. McIntyre says Miller's lack of experience is a concern.
Protocol suggests strongly or even dictate if there's a problem, you go to that source, then talk to the person, as opposed to taking this lead. And Mr. Chairman, that's all I have to say about that, sir.
One of the voices of opposition to the resolution was Councilman Henry Darby. Darby says council did not do enough to ask Miller what he's doing to address the backlog or offer help to his office. Miller says he is closing the office halfway through the day so his team can focus on the backlog until 5 p.m. For McIntyre, though, making sure the lead man has done the job before is critical.
It boils down to experience matters in these type of offices.
I did speak to Michael Miller's attorney on the phone earlier today. He told me he agrees that it's down to the state legislature to decide any changes to an elected position.
A Florence pastor who was kidnapped and carjacked at knife point from his church says the only thing he could do was pray that he wouldn't be hurt but be rescued. He spoke exclusively with ABC 15's Tanya Brown about how he believes his faith helped save him. She joins us live just across the street from his church on Cherokee Road in Florence. How is that pastor doing tonight, Tanya?
Jennifer, the senior pastor of Emmanuel Baptist Church here tells me that he is doing really good. He says that awful December day could have shaken his faith, but only increased it.
And when I walked into this office in this building that morning, I had no clue that my day was going to change pretty quick.
Reverend Charles Pittman Jr. was working at Emmanuel Baptist Church in Florence on December 21st when a stranger walked through the door with a knife.
First I thought I was just going to be robbed or something. And then I realized, well, I'm going to be, this has turned into a kidnapping.
Federal agents say Joseph Wright told the preacher if he didn't come with him, he'd be hurt.
It was frightening, to be honest. I'd be lying if I said, this was an easy thing and, no sweat, no problem. It was very stressful.
A criminal complaint says Wright got into the driver's seat of Pittman's car with Pittman in the passenger seat. Police say Wright made several threats to Pittman about killing people. The preacher tells me he didn't know where Wright was taking him, so he turned to what he did know.
My prayer was, Lord, I need a couple of things. I need wisdom. I need your peace. And he gave it to me.
Pittman says he had faith that he would survive.
I was very aware of the Lord's presence with me. I could feel it.
While he prayed, church members sensed something wasn't right and called police. The FBI got involved, and within 2 hours, police located the car in Lumberton. Officers arrested Wright and rescued Pittman.
I'm not someone that believes in coincidence. I believe in God's provision.
Wright will have a hearing tomorrow in federal court to determine if he will stay in jail until his case goes to trial. If convicted, he faces life in prison.
In the meantime, there's an effort underway to preserve a historic Mount Pleasant schoolhouse. It's a building that provided education to African Americans for almost 50 years. Charleston Clark spoke with Long Point Schoolhouse alumni about how attending the school helped shape who they became in life.
History is in session at a Mount Pleasant schoolhouse.
The significance of the event is this schoolhouse that you see directly behind me. This school is the last black school in the town of Mount Pleasant and east of Cooper, in fact.
The African American Historic Settlement Commission in Boone Hall Plantation held a beautification day and presented checks to preserve Long Point Schoolhouse. The preservation will cost roughly $300,000. Boone Hall donated $100,000, and more money came from a local utility provider.
I think it's only worthy that I tell you and you share with everybody else, because we're building partnerships. And Berkeley Electric also sent us a check for $25,000 on yesterday.
The schoolhouse was actively used from 1904 to 1953. Thomasina Stokes Marshall was a student at the school. She talked about how it impacted a generation.
It's important to me and our community residents that we preserve this school because it laid the foundation during a time when segregation was the trend. And again, that foundation for education for the many, many different fields and categories was established right here at the Long Point schools.
Joseph Palmer's family also attended the school, going all the way back to the early 1900s.
She can write better and read better than any high school student because she had her foundation right there. And she read letters and took care of the insurance.
Long Point Schoolhouse will be preserved as an education center.
The center is scheduled to open sometime next year. There's a GoFundMe set up if you want to contribute to the preservation effort. You can look for that in our story now at abcnews4.com.